All right. So I started this channel. Well, I really started posting to this channel, I guess, as a way of trying to lose weight and documenting that progress and that process. And here I am, having gained like 50 pounds in the past like 6 months. And what does that mean? What does that look like for me? What's happening? What's going on? And kind of where am I at emotionally, mentally, physically, those kinds of things. So I wanted to post an updated video to kind of address some of those things. So, yes, first off, I have gained weight. I never ended up losing much weight at all throughout my documented process or progress on this website or on this platform. And then I just kind of dropped off, stopped talking about weight and everything like that. But yeah, so I suffer from an eating disorder, particularly binge eating. And so I tend to struggle with the amount of food that I eat at one time. And I have what I call mini binges and then big binges. Mini binges are a lot more common. So those happen for me, at least lately, maybe once or twice a week. And then the bigger binges would happen, maybe once every few weeks or once a month. But there was a time period for me where the mini binges were happening pretty much every day. Um, so I'm spending all my extra money plus some, and leaving myself pretty tight on money and struggling because I'm spending it on food. I ended up, like I said, gaining a bunch of weight in a short period of time. So none of my clothes fit anymore. So I've had to buy new clothes. And yeah, so it's been an interesting journey. But I am trying, at this point, instead of focusing on losing weight, to focus on loving myself, to focus on, combating the eating disorder, and to work on those kinds of things as opposed to working on just losing weight. Because obviously that's not working for me. It hasn't in the past, and it won't, now. Um, so if I lose weight, I lose weight. If I don't, I don't. It kind of just is what it is. So, yeah. So this will be the start of my journey. So I wanted to kind of talk about my past, my relationship with my body, with myself, and food, and kind of go from there. So I started on diets from about the age of 8. I was not overweight as a kid, but I did want to, be like my mom, who was on diets at the time, and wanted to kind of partake in eating what she was eating and doing what she was doing. So my sister and I did participate in diets with her from about that age. Um, so we tried all sorts of different diets from that time period on. There was a cabbage soup diet, there was a grapefruit diet, there was Atkins, there was low carb in general, there was Weight Watchers, there was, all sorts of different things. Slim Fast. And none of them really worked for very long, if they did work at all. Around about the time I hit puberty, at about the age of 11 or 12, is when I started really putting on weight. Um, I gained quite a bit of weight during that time. And then I remember my senior year of high school, I lost about 40, 50 pounds, mainly through not eating. I was eating maybe a couple bites at dinner, and that was about it. Everyone around me, because I wasn't starting from a very thin body, was telling me congratulations, that I looked great. They were telling me that, it was working. What was I doing? What could they do? What was my secret? Those kinds of things. So I got a lot of that. And, it was dangerous, it was unhealthy, and it didn't work long term. So I went to college, I started eating again, and I put on weight really rapidly. Um, so I think I gained about 100 pounds in the first year that I was there, for 6 months to a year. And then I cycled on diets off and on throughout my time in college. And I lost weight here and there. I'm really good at losing weight, it turns out. I'm also really good at putting it back on. so, um, but yeah, I struggled a lot. And then I remember that um, after college, I graduated. I was weighing around, I had gained some more weight after I graduated, got up to about 260, 270 pounds. And then I found the size acceptance, body acceptance movement, fat acceptance movement, and just kind of got into that, and realized that, my worth was not tied to my weight. Um, so I remember that I may have gone a little overboard with the eating at that point, to where I had basically justified eating whatever I wanted whenever I wanted. And for me, that is too much, allowing myself to binge constantly, having those kind of daily binges and um, eating seconds and thirds at dinner, having a second meal after dinner, or, I guess a fourth meal technically, is what they're calling it now, or like eating like a hobbit and eating like 5 or 6 meals a day. But they were not little meals, they were big meals, they were full size meals. So I was getting full off of these meals. I think the biggest problem for me has always been that I just feel hungry all the time, like 24/7. I could always eat. And until I eat so much that I'm physically in pain, I could still keep eating. And sometimes I do keep eating past the point of pain. Um, so it's one of those things where I think it's mostly in my head as opposed to like a body thing. But my body doesn't really, or my brain or my body don't communicate in a good way, I guess. So I always just kind of feel constantly hungry and like I could eat. And so I do. Um, and then at that point, I had found that I was feeling confident and comfortable in my body, but I was still binge eating. I was still binging constantly. And it was still a problem in my life. I was just justifying it using self love and self care, which is a good thing to partake in. But I was doing it in a bad way, in an unhealthy way. So fast forward to, um, goodness, 2014. I remember January 2014. I decided to try something for the chronic pain that I had always had, which was giving up dairy. Turned out that that was exactly what I needed. All my chronic pain went away in 2 days. This pain that I had experienced all my life, at a level of a 7 to an 8 on most days, with spikes up to like a 9 or a 10 at nights. So I was like crying myself to sleep. Um, I was using a cane at one point, and it still wasn't helping. I was considering using a rollator. So I had lots of different considerations at that time, due to the chronic pain. Um, but so once I cut dairy out of my life, I actually lost about 30 pounds without trying. And I think most of that was inflammation from the dairy. So it just kind of dropped off of me. And then I found it pretty easy to lose weight from there. I wasn't in pain anymore. So I didn't have that experience that was leading to the binges. So pain leads me to binging, because eating relieves the pain, it numbs it, at least temporarily. So I dropped a lot of weight pretty quickly from there. Um, my lowest, I believe, was, so my highest was about 260, 270, somewhere in there. And my lowest was 147. Um, and then I found myself bouncing back and forth between about 20 to 30 pounds from there. from 2014 until just recently. So my weight would go up, it would go down, it would go up, it would go down. So I would cycle depending upon what I was doing, whether I was binging or not binging, whether I was on a lifestyle change or a diet, basically, or whether I was not. I did a couple different things. I tried bright line eating, which is it's based upon old school like Gray Sheet Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous kind of diets, where you're prescribed a certain quantity of different foods, and you are abstaining from those trigger foods that trigger the binges. So it worked really well for me for a short period of time, until it didn't, until I lost the weight and gave myself permission to eat whatever I wanted to again. And then I gained weight again. Um, I've done Overeaters Anonymous, just kind of in general, as far as abstaining from trigger foods. That tends to work really well for me, abstaining from trigger foods. But, ultimately it always comes down to I eat one of the foods that causes a binge, it triggers a binge, and then there goes another binge. And then another one, and another one, and another one. So it just kind of compounds upon itself, and it never truly ends. This is a cycle that I've been in my entire life. Um, so I have gained much more weight than I have in a long time. I'm back up to 220 pounds. So about 40, 50 pounds from my highest weight. Um, so, but I'm back into trying to practice self love and self care, because I haven't done that in a long time. So even when I was at my lightest weight, I wasn't practicing that self love and self care. So I wasn't satisfied, I guess, with my body, with the way I looked, with what was going on, with any of that kind of stuff at that point. Um, it was never enough. So I would quit, and then go right back to those old habits. I've been working with a therapist on a plan for binging and binges, and I haven't had a big binge in a very long time. I did have a mini binge the other day that led to me feeling over full, but it wasn't a full on binge, although it kind of felt like it because I'm currently on Adderall right now for ADHD, which is doing amazing things for me. It's also helping with the constant hunger. I'm not feeling the constant hunger anymore. Um, so it's been helping me with not eating as much during meals, and it kept that mini binge to a mini binge as opposed to a full blown binge, which it could have been, if I hadn't felt that fullness a lot sooner than normal. I've been under a lot of stress lately. Um, I am looking, I'm job hunting. I might be moving somewhere across the country, even. Um, Not continuing with main, maybe losing access to some of the people that I've been really close to here. Um, and it's been hard. We moved into a new apartment to make the transition a little bit easier for when I do move. And it has just been a lot of stress. And so I've been changing medication and trying to find the right balance. I've been, starting this Adderall, the ADHD medication, got the diagnosis of ADHD, as well as a screening for autism spectrum ASD, which I was shown as potentially having that as well. Um, so it's been a lot that's been kind of happening here lately. So, I don't blame myself. I don't feel bad about it. It is what it is. I gained weight. It is what it is. So instead of being on a weight loss journey at this point, I think I'm going to be on a self love journey and working through that. So it is going to be a long process, but I've been doing little things here and there, like the self care in, taking care of my body as it is, dressing my body as it is, loving my body as it is. One of my special interests right now is seasonal color analysis. I've talked a little bit about that, I believe, here as well. So, dressing your truth versus seasonal color analysis. I had a seasonal color analysis done virtually again, but this time using actual drapes. So, putting different colored fabrics against my skin in natural lighting with no makeup on. And having someone kind of analyze what those different colors did for me as far as which ones were more flattering on my skin tone, um, and with my coloring of my eyes and my hair, or beard, I guess in this case, and eyebrows. But which colors were more flattering for me, which I think was really helpful for me because it's a self care thing for me. And it's also engaging in that special interest in a fun way. Um, so in any case, if anyone knows anything about seasonal color analysis, I'm a deep or dark winter. So a lot of like darker, deeper, bolder colors, like jewel tones, but in like a cool jewel tone way, not like a warmer way. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun just playing around with that, experimenting with that, giving myself permission to go out and buy new clothes, mostly from Goodwill. It's been a way to kind of reconnect with my body. And instead of wearing clothes that are too tight and that hurt or are uncomfortable, I'm now wearing clothes that fit and that are comfortable. Um, so yeah, I've gone up 3 sizes. It is what it is. But I'm trying to kind of work past that and not let that hold me back. Um, I did recently get a new bathroom scale. I have mislocated the one that we had when we went in the move. So that's kind of how I realized, kind of exactly how much I weigh now, and that I've gained like 20 pounds since we moved a couple months ago. Um, so it kind of is giving me a point of reference. I'm not sure if I'm going to really want to weigh myself more than once a week, just to kind of keep an eye on it, and see where I'm at more out of curiosity than out of trying to lose weight, right? And I may increase that to once a month. I may, um, not make that a focus. I'm just so used to weighing myself once a week that it's become like this habit for me. So on Friday mornings, I go weigh myself. So it's one of those things where um, it is become a habit. It's become ingrained in me, and it feels odd to not have done that for a couple months. Um, but yeah, so this is the start of a journey, the start of something. We'll see kind of what happens. I'm not, like I said, not putting any expectations on myself of losing weight. I don't care if I lose weight. I don't need to lose weight. I don't think anyone needs to, unless it's become a point where it is causing health problems. Um, and at my current weight, I'm healthy. Everything looks good. All my numbers look good, for now. So I'll keep an eye on it. I will try to maintain as healthy of a diet as I can. Not as a diet, but as the foods that I'm eating and stuff like that. Because type 2 diabetes does run in my family, and there is a lot to be said about the way you eat with type 2 diabetes. Although it can still happen regardless. So I keep an eye on my blood sugar. I keep track of that just to make sure that I'm not running into any issues with that, which I haven't so far. So everything looks good. I just recently got some labs done for my kidneys because I have some weird kidney numbers. That my urinalysis is fine, but my blood work is not. But the kidney doctor specialist said that it's nothing to worry about as long as they don't match. So if they were both abnormal, then it would be a problem. But because it's just the blood work and the urinalysis is fine. He said it was boring, and that's what you want. So because of that, it's not a concern, and my kidneys are fine. But so I'm keeping an eye on all that kind of stuff to make sure that I am healthy and doing what I can to maintain health. Um, the one thing that I need to add back into my life is exercise. To be honest, I haven't been, especially not these past 6 weeks since I injured my knee. And walking is difficult. I know there are exercises other than walking, there are chair exercises that you can do, um, but I just haven't done that. Because I haven't found something that really speaks to me. I need to find something that speaks to me. I function really well in routine. I might function really well with like a personal trainer, which is something I cannot afford right now. So just having, something where I have someone to motivate me would be helpful, and someone to tell me what to do is also helpful. Like, I know what to do, I know what good exercises are, I know how to balance exercises, I know what a body needs, I know cardio is important, I know that it has to be a certain amount a week, a certain amount a day, or whatnot. Um, I've done a lot of research on it. I know a lot. I wanted to be a personal trainer at one point in my life. Still think it would be kind of cool to do. But you kind of have to exercise to be a personal trainer, um, at least, so that you can help other people. So it's not something that I can do right now, but it may be something for my future. Still, I could do that as like a side gig or something like that. But in any case, I do know a lot about exercise and physiology in the body, um, and diets and eating and what's healthy and what's not healthy, and moderation versus. For me, I need that abstinence from certain foods. Although I've noticed that with the addition of the medication for the ADHD, that I'm able to, have some of these trigger foods without causing a binge, which has been really nice. So I might be able to kind of manage that in a way that I haven't been able to in the past. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens from here. But I just wanted to really kind of go into my background, my history, where I'm at. Um, so I've joined a couple groups related to um, people of a larger size, or fat people, or large people, plus size people, whatever words you want to use, um, to try to kind of own my body and love my body as it is, and see people with bodies that are similar to mine, which has always been really helpful to me, to see and normalize different bodies. Um, I got a I'm a I'm pagan. I like to do rituals and earthy stuff, and kind of connect to the earth and spirituality in that way. I'm not really religious, but more spiritual. So I, went to a little witchy shop the other day and picked up a self love spell kit, and intentionally anointed a candle, lit a candle, set some intention while the candle was burning, and watched some self love videos, and just really spent some time. I did some self love and some pampering and stuff like that during that time while the candle was burning as well. So just setting aside intentional time, I think, is really what that was about, and just giving myself permission to treat myself with love, um, which is something I've been, lacking in the past. So it's just really been, a great opportunity to try to rediscover and learn that love of myself, that I did have for a hot minute there. um, back before, back in like 2006, 2007, when I was into um, size acceptance, body acceptance, kind of movements. I had that self love that I've been missing, and that I've been kind of searching for ever since. and never really have found. So this is a very long video. So I've been talking for like 25 minutes now. But it's been a lot to talk through. And it's been kind of great to chronicle this. And I think it'll be good to, um, document my journey a little bit here and there. So I may not be regularly posting, but every once in a while, kind of with an update. Um, yeah, so here goes that journey. Bye.